Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Wayne and the team at Strettons. I was first contacted about this seminar and was actually privy to the information that was going to be shared with you tonight. And I was out and about today around our town centre delivering Rugby World Cup packs with flags and balloons and streamers. And whilst that's really important, I guess, for what's about to happen to our country, I kept shoulder tapping people saying, you haven't RSVP'd for tonight, and do you know what change that it can bring about for working on your business and rather than in it? So for those of you who I perhaps saw today, or you got an email from me at Town Centre, thanks for coming along. And because I'm really, really passionate about our town and who we are and what we do and the businesses involved. And it was really interesting, Paul, when you asked the question about who wants their business to grow, there were a number of people. I looked around because I always get really interested when these questions get asked. There were a number of people who didn't raise their hands. And I wonder if they were those of you in the room that aren't business owners but are staff members, that are team members. And my goodness, I mean, I own a business, I own a kindergarten, and if the teachers in my kindergarten didn't want growth, there's something wrong there because, they're a part of the organisation as well. So, I challenge those of you who maybe perhaps are here who aren't business owners, but your team members, raise your hand when you want business growth as well because you're as part of the team. I love that what was shared with you today was all about customers. I'm incredibly passionate about customers, and for me, there's two types of customers. There's the external customer, and for the most part, when I first, knew about the information that was going to be shared tonight, the external customer came up, and it's really easy to think about, those of you out, externally. But as intrinsic to your organisation and your business is the internal customer as well, and making your staff your champions. So, equally when it talked, Paul shared about how expensive it is to get out there and get new customers, the same runs true with staff. And so, your internal customer is just as important. And then future-proofing and succession planning for your customers as well is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. And I'm going to tell a really small story, and I'm not going to take up heaps of your time because we're getting late in the evening, and we've all had busy days at work. But I remember being an 18-year-old with my first instalment of my student loan way back in 1992, and with that first instalment of my student loan, I didn't spend it on textbooks, I didn't spend it on any course-related material. I went to a retailer because I wanted to buy a stereo for my first flat. And I got treated appallingly. Now at this stage, I hadn't bought a house, I wasn't married, I didn't have a huge income. But I got treated so appallingly that I have never ever used that business ever again. So I'm really lucky that that business doesn't actually operate here in Taupo. But it's about sometimes thinking about where your next customer is going to come from. The youth of our day, the youth of Taupo are just as important. They may leave and come back, but, think about who you are and what you do and future-proofing. Business plans, and I'll close on this, business plans are something that are really, really important. And I love, Paul, that you said it only needs to be 2 pages long because that's really achievable when we're really all busy and, going on. And some of you may have seen me on TV with MasterChef, and do you know that I wrote down my desire to star in a reality TV show 8 years ago? And that I believe that ending up on MasterChef was the result of me writing that down and following my bucket list to get where I got. And the doors that have been opened from that experience have been absolutely phenomenal. So, on a personal level and on a business level, write stuff down, share it with people, get advice, talk to others, get them to be champions of your business and your plan too. The last thing I'm going to say is that I can't, we can, together we can create a greater Taupo. And so, again, thanks Strettons for, the vision that you've had in bringing these businesses together tonight. You should be congratulated and commended. Thank you.